Hey guys, welcome back to the Confirm It RM YouTube channel. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day, getting ourselves back into another 2-minute technicals video looking at XRP. And as you can see, we got our little pushback up there to around 73.60, 73.360, around that 236 there on the long term form there from July 14th in from now. And now you can see we're actually getting pushed back up. We got pushed back down into trend, and we're actually getting pushed and sandwiched underneath the 20-day moving average after getting rejected from trying to get above the 50, but trying to overextend and actually get through our 236 on both of these channels, on these Fibonacci's. So we are in an interesting little conundrum. And someone in the video yesterday commented and said, hey, Confirm It, does this look like a bear flag? And I will say to you, yes, there is some sort of flag forming here. Usually with a flag, it's a little bit more nuanced than that. Typically, when you get a bear flag, it's more choppy like this. Kind of, you usually get a relief right afterwards that kind of comes up to that neckline across the top here, that ceiling, that kind of gives you more of that indication. But what's weird about this is we kind of have this parallel channel kind of ascending, but that's still out of a downtrend. A parallel channel is no bueno too. So there is a likelihood of that happening, yes, of actually getting that sort of retracement downwards. But I was remaining optimistic and telling you guys that getting ourselves above 73 is almost an immediate 77 cents. Just because of the you can see the gap here. There's a gap. Like once you get here to 73, it basically is here at 77. So you have this whole gap that could be filled. So that's that first nuance. And we did get our bottom out there on the 25th, about 2 days ago, and we started rising up. But right now we're coming back for a retest on the longer term RSI. And you can see right now we're getting sandwiched a little bit below that 20-day moving average. So we're in a weird pickle. We're getting to the apex of this move, and we're coming to a critical point here on the RSI, and we have lower volume coming in here for XRP. So you have to start thinking, all right, things are shifting. XRP is not pushing through 73 like we expected, or what we would rather have gathered. Obviously, there was still the likelihood of it getting pushed back, but it's like 60-40. That's usually how these work. And from here, you can do that assessment if you really wanted to, and you can see that if you did that whole move, you're going to come back down here to around 65. That's just how it would be. So, but that would make sense, would it not? We talk about this all the time. If you can't get through retracements, you come back to supports, and that support is sitting there actually at that 66.65 right there, and that you get your double bottom and you'd figure it out. But that's the kind of nuance that we'd be going after. But if we're going to go off of like shorter term price action, what you'd want to do is actually figure out if actually this is a sort of parallel channel. What we can do here is kind of grab parallel channel, grab it up, see if it actually is. I mean, it sort of is. I mean, you kind of can tell. Yeah, I would say it's pretty close. But usually with that action, what you're going to wind up doing is grabbing a trend line, grabbing the width of the channel, and then from at any breaking point, you can see what will wind up happening. It would just be falling, looks like around 3 cents from wherever it decided to break from. So it broke at around 70. It'd be around 68, as you can see. But let's get rid of that. I'm not too sure on that. I don't really like using that because it's too short of action for me, I think. But what we can do is we can get rid of this longer term parallel channel. What makes sense, we're hitting our head on it. This is a longer term floor that we've had over here since the 14th, connecting over here at the 22nd. And you see we're being back tested here on the 24th, falling through it. So what we can do, we can use this top line still. We'll kind of come a little bit closer. We'll use the bottom one. We can actually maybe do something more nuanced out like this, go across and make it a little bit more happy. But even then you can still see that this is the flag here on a shorter time. If we were to zoom out, maybe on the 1 hour, we'd have a little bit easier of a time. I would even say no, not even an easier time, but you could go like this, go across the top. You could go across the top of these ones. You could say like that, but it would be coming out to something. And actually, I won't even say maybe that one. Maybe you'd use the middle ones in here. But, the moves just become very, very small at that point if you do that. But even if we did this, came through here, your move is going to wind up being something by the end of day Friday, at most looking at end of day Friday coming around 70 cents or pushing up there to around 73. But then you just have a triple, you'd just be exhausted if we were to try to get up here, and if we come up here to 73 again, and we reject exactly like this, I would just be looking at a retracement at that point. But it looks like we have a little bit more time, a little more borrowed time on XRP before we can actually draw our conclusions. But as you can see, flying up to the 786, getting rejected, trying to get through to 702, flying up again, now rejected. We're not exactly bullish yet. What I would want to see is us to actually get through here on the 1 hour. I think it's what I'm going to go off of, is looking here on the 1 hour. I'm just giving you guys all the nitty gritty of what I'm thinking of when I'm going over these charts. It's starting to push upwards and actually get the 50 crossing through the 100-day. It's going to take some time, as you can see. We would have to maneuver in here to around, Saturday or Friday night to be able to get that curl to start pulling upwards and go through. And it might be able to do that. If we can get some price action up here into the 72s and actually start doing it, we'd get price action. That would actually be pretty nice. Where is that? Where is the blue boy? Oh, there he is. It would come up here at the top of the region. So not even. I wouldn't say it's too crazy even there too, because the blue one's up here around 72. So if you were to actually break through around 71, it would just break up to 72. It might go a little bit higher and try reaching to 73, but on the hourly, it's not too crazy. So I'm looking. I'll actually go with the 4 hour, guys. The 4 hour makes more sense in this regard. So what we'll go with is we're just in a state of limbo. It's stair stepping, it's climbing, but if we don't break through the hierarchy here of this line here, this ceiling, I'm going to be thinking 65, 66 in that region. But this is the contingency zone. This is where we need to break through. This is what we need to tackle in order to get ourselves up here back in this longer trend and then see some good price action for XRP. Otherwise, we're going to come back home and we're going to retest bases. That's just how it is. You see the first stop would be there around that 69, and then it would be here around 65, and then right here is where that moving average is, the 200-day. That's typically what would catch it. You'd be overexhausted and catch here on the 63. So worst case scenario being 63 here on the 4 hour, but I'm giving you guys that notion. It's running out of steam. It's starting to go sideways. It's curving out. That's what, when you look at it, it's starting to level out. So here is where we need to see something happen. We need XRP to make a decision. You're sitting here too long, and we haven't exactly got up to that 74-cent region yet either, and retested this. So it's acting as a heavy resistance. It's what we need to see. But I wonder what your guys' conviction is. I'm just giving you guys the catalysts. We're coming back down to the bottom of the RSI here. We're coming to retest, but we're getting lower volume coming in. So, we might have a bearish divergence coming in. You have this. Actually, maybe not even. If I'm thinking about it, we're starting to level out. It's not crazy positive price action. We're just kind of going sideways. But we have a nice overcoming kind of RSI here. But I wonder if I bring up the MACD, guys, if that could give us anything crazy. Give me one moment. Yeah, it looks like if you go here in MACD, you can see previous price action. We came down just as low back over here in November, but that was after a large sell-off. But if we look past, you can see that over here on the right, we're looking here. If we grab our horizontal line, we can draw it right there. You can see that. We actually heavily overextended downwards in comparison to May, April, or June. Only way it's ever actually been the same has been May here, over here in November. So basically, when there's been good price action is when we've seen that retracement happen. So I'm just thinking to myself, guys, it would make sense right now if we're gonna wind up hitting our head here and not getting up above the 236 here at 73 cents, so we're going to be seeing 65, and that's where I think we'll chill out for a little bit and establish a new home where we're going to have to just get through up here around 88 cents, just get up to that region. It would just create a new fractal at a higher point. That's just exactly what we want. You break out, solidify home, break out, solidify home, and I think that's what we might be at. So we're stalling, but we can't also just be complete moon boys. But if it holds this region, we're going to see some nice price action. I 100% in my feelings know that we're going to be pushing up into that 80s, at 77 and 80s price region, 77 and 86. But if we wind up losing around the end of this region, getting below 70 cents, I know I'm putting my bets on that. So, if you're trading and if you're looking, you're going to be looking at these points and you're going to be making your educated guesses based off of that movement. So that's the contingencies that you need to follow and abide by when you're doing something like this. But hope you guys are having a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I appreciate every single one of you. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Remember, none of it's financial advice, just my personal opinion, just my thoughts on what's going on. You got to make your own educated guesses and, inferences. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.